What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Nathan, and today I'm going to redeem myself on a truck that I've missed out on for a very, very long time. So enough of that. Enter the Pacific P16. You guys know the drill. Roll the tape. So there's been a trend I've been noticing during my short SnowRunner journey so far. I'm just bad at choosing trucks. I wrote the P16 off and quickly collected the cash for it on my first playthrough. What an idiot! Today I've come to redeem myself and perhaps shed some light on a truck I've left in the dark for no good reason whatsoever. Let's dive into the West Coast Pig, the Pacific P16. As per usual, before we dive into the pros and cons, let's talk about some base stats. The P16 plants itself firmly in the heavy category, weighing 27.6 tons, a power to weight ratio of B, durability A-, fuel consumption B-, fuel capacity 300 liters or 80 gallons. It does not have all-wheel drive and its diff lock is always on. Also, it comes stock with 57-inch off-road tires. Alright, now let's move on to the pros and cons. You know I'm definitely going to bring up the dirt on the P16 first, so here are the downsides for the Pacific P16. Downside number 1, no all-wheel drive option. Although it's not such a big deal, the P16, unlike its brother, the P12, does not have the all-wheel drive unit. Being a fan of all-wheel drive, I felt this was a downside because it caused me to overlook and sell the truck in my first playthrough. I know, what a shame. Coming in next for the downsides has to be the few add-on options for cargo. The fact that there aren't a lot of options for the P16 merits its way onto the cons list. The P16 can only use a log carrier and a high saddle. This limits the truck to hauling exclusively large loads, or what it does best, log hauling. Coming in at the number 3 downsides, bad turning radius. Look, let's be brief. The P16 has a bad turning radius, and is somewhat exacerbated by the weight and the driving force from its rear axles. Sometimes you just gotta stop, reverse, and 3-point turn. No big deal. And number 4, no chain tires. The name of the game is SnowRunner, so if a vehicle doesn't have chain tires, it really has to go on the downsides list. So the P16 is limited because it has only one tire option, the off-road tires. This downside limits the use of this truck in snowy areas, especially the Kola Peninsula. And lastly, at the number 5 downsides, narrow roads will prove difficult. So having a very large frame in SnowRunner is such a good thing, but it also can be a bad thing. A lot of the trails in SnowRunner can get pretty tight. There are rocky passes that you just have to have a slim truck to get through. In these spots, the P16 just will not go through, rendering the player searching for, skinnier options. Alright, now that we have the bad news out of the way, let's talk about some pros for the Pacific P16. Number 1, it's very stable. This extra wide platform that is the P16 is hard not to notice. Its wide set large tires give it an advantage when it comes to off-roading in SnowRunner. This might be one of the trucks that haven't managed to flip in the game. Coming in at the number 2 spot for upsides, weight. When it comes to weight in SnowRunner, having a heavy truck is a huge plus. The P16 is the 5th heaviest truck in the game, giving it advantages in deep mud. You'll see during this video that it just digs and churns out mud. Personally, I love it. Moving on to number 3 upsides. Differential locking is always on. Having differential locking always on is advantageous, allowing the vehicle to stay in auto mode while still being able to access that differential locking. The diff lock on those massive wide tires is an upside that's kind of overlooked. Diff lock coupled with our next upside are quite the pair. Probably the most overlooked upside of this truck is number 4, best tire ratings in the game. According to MapRunner, the P16 has the 2nd best mud tire rating in the game. Currently, the vehicle that holds the number 1 spot is the Tatron 420, which is a scout truck, not a heavy truck. So technically the P16 has the best mud tire rating for heavy trucks. The Pacific P16 basically has the same tire ratings as the Cat 770G and the P512. Having amazing tires coupled with diff lock and good weight, this truck just dredges through mud. I've done a lot of experimenting with the P16 in mud, and I've concluded that sometimes when you have a sharp turn-in, it actually will stop or slow your progress because it's adding resistance against the vehicle's forward movement. If you just let your front tires roll out straight, you usually can trust that the P16 will dig its way through it. So if you're in a muddy spot, just allow your tires to straighten out unless you absolutely have to turn, then put your turn in if you're going to collide with something. And lastly, upside number 5, it's free. As you probably can tell, I'm all about free things, so getting a $140,000 truck is massive for me. But this time, I'm definitely not selling it. So in conclusion, having a second look at this truck actually has opened my eyes to just how powerful it actually is. I truly feel that if they added an all-wheel drive upgrade for the P16, it probably would be the best truck in the game. Although it does not have a lot of add-on options and configurations, it actually is pretty fun to haul around large trailers and logs. But let's remember that the P16 can also hook up hitch trailers, so it can be used in more ways than just one. Try it out, let me know what you think. Hope this review gave you a fresh new perspective on the Pacific P16. Please smash the like button, leave me a comment on what truck you would like to see next. Definitely share this video with someone who is struggling with the game, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content. Hope you all have a wonderful day, God bless, and stay upright.